There is no way that he just said this. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Durant was on a podcast with Draymond Green, analyzing and discussing the trade stuff that was going on this deadline, revolving around the Suns and Matt Ishbia and James Jones with Kevin Durant. So we're going to be diving into us, exploring all of this news and going over ultimately what I think will happen with this roster following this report. We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Velez, and before we dive in, I want to give everyone a huge shout out for showing your love and support on the channel. You guys are absolutely flooding the comment section, letting us know with your thoughts revolving around this team, and it's been super, super appreciative over the last couple of weeks. But we do notice that roughly right around 82% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this Phoenix Suns team, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get the daily Phoenix Suns content and can come into the streams, which will be live again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Phoenix Suns time. But without further ado, let's dive in and let's get into all the news. Make sure to grab that snack. And like I said in the introduction, this is kind of crazy and wild, as we obviously know the Kevin Durant talks have been going on for the last couple weeks and will be going on for the rest of the entire offseason post-trade deadline, as, the Suns almost did trade him. But we have some new news revolving around this situation, as Kevin Durant finally kind of opened up and spoke up about it on a podcast with Jimmy Butler. And we see from this quote here, or not Jimmy Butler, with Draymond Green, excuse me. And we can see from this tweet here with Clutch Points that there's a little snippet from Kevin Durant where it says, "We can play this season out, and if that's the decision you want to make in the offseason, then we figure it out." Kevin Durant on vetoing his own Suns Warriors trade at the deadline. And Durant in this article, or in this video, went into detail more on what he was talking about. So I'll give you guys a little bit more of a synopsis as well. If you want to check the video out, you definitely can go as well. But like I said, Durant was talking to Draymond, basically saying that he didn't want to leave and join a team in the middle of the season, not only for it to screw up the Phoenix Suns, but to screw up what he would be bringing for that team. Like a team like the Warriors trading for him would have to gut their roster to acquire like a player like Kevin Durant. So he didn't know how that fit would have happened in the middle of the season, specifically joining a Warriors team in a similar situation compared to the Suns. Would they have been able to, propel back, be in that conversation, or would it have been just a waste of a trade? And could he have helped something out in Phoenix? I think that's ultimately where it came down for Durant in this decision. And he said in this video once again that he wants to remain in Phoenix. He wants to stay in Phoenix. He wanted to finish the season out. But when he was talking about the general managers, talking about the front office, he basically said, if you want to move in that direction, if you want to move me, that's totally fine. But let's wait until the offseason. Let's wait till there's more suitors. Let's wait until we can possibly figure out where I could be going and who I could be teaming up with. And that's smart from a Kevin Durant player perspective, as he doesn't want to just be traded to a team just to be traded there, sign a long-term extension, and then it not to work out in Golden State, and then have to try to find another home on that extension. That's not what Kevin Durant wants to do. At this point of Kevin Durant's career, I believe he wants to stay either in Phoenix and finish on this team and win a championship, or he's going to choose one other destination and finish his career there. Ultimately, I do believe that that is going to be not the final contract of Kevin Durant, but could be the last team that Kevin Durant does ultimately end up suiting for. And I think he kind of knows that in the back of his head too, as he is aging as a little bit of a superstar. So he definitely wants to capitalize on that. When we look at Kevin Durant this season so far, though, we can obviously see that the stats that Durant has been able to produce for this team have been absolutely ridiculous. This year, Kevin Durant, at 36 years old, is still averaging 27 points, 6 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.4 blocks per game, and almost a steal per game on 53% shooting from the field and 40% shooting from three. Like I've mentioned with Kevin Durant, he has been the Suns' best player this season and clearly has showcased that, as at the start of the year, he was obviously that focal engine that was leading this team to that great start. And then ultimately, when he got hurt and got injured, things started to go bad for this Phoenix Suns team. And that's ultimately not what is great with this squad, as we've seen the injuries. We've obviously seen the fit not really work, the coach throwing out random stuff, the front office not making moves to fully get a functioning roster. And this is where we're at here in Phoenix. We're stuck in this, time loop where Kevin Durant possibly could be on the move. But as we all know, and as we've all kind of broken down here, like I said, with Durant. It was more of the fact that he didn't want to leave this season in the middle of it, and it could possibly still happen next season if this is the direction that the front office and the Phoenix Suns would like to go. If they would like to go into a reset, a retool, a little bit of a reflip because this big three is not working and they are unable or unsuccessful to still move Bradley Beal with his $50 million and no trade clause in the offseason, I do best believe they will look to trade Kevin Durant. Now, I don't believe Kevin Durant will be the first guy that they look to move. Like I said, I do believe that they will look to move a guy in Bradley Beal first, as after this offseason, the Suns will be in the first apron, which will give them a little bit more flexibility in making a move. And who knows, maybe in this offseason, there'll be a team that is willing to tank or is willing to take on some bad contracts because they want to be towards the bottom of this draft class. And in the offseason, that's when a team will strike, not in the middle of the season when they're obviously still trying to assess if they're going to compete for the playoffs or if they're going to be competing for a play-in spot. But some of those teams around the league could really bottom out going into next season, and that could realistically open up some more homes for a player in Bradley Beal if he was willing to go there. So I want to know your thoughts down below in the comment section, how you guys ultimately feel about all this Phoenix Suns news, as ultimately it has been absolutely wild with the stuff we have seen. Like I mentioned, we had the whole offseason of who we were going to trade. Then we had the high up season of upside on the offseason of we're going to be back with Mike Budenholzer, to a great start, to then a questionable team, to, oh, well, we'll make moves at the deadline. Nurkic will be gone. Other guys will be gone, to only have Yusuf Nurkic gone. And even with Yusuf Nurkic gone, both the players that we have gotten back in Vasily Micic and Cody Martin have yet to suit up. Now, Cody Martin's been hurt. Vasily Micic just has yet to play. So will they even get to play in the Phoenix Suns uniform? We'll have to wait and see. But like I said, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that Kevin Durant will be on this team with the Phoenix Suns next season, or do you think he will be gone? Ultimately, I do believe the Suns will still try and do everything that they can to keep Durant this offseason, regardless of the relationship that they possibly could have ruptured. With Kevin Durant, like we've mentioned, he is on a 1-year deal after this, so he will be looking to sign an extension, and that makes it a little bit easier for teams to be able to trade for him due to the fact that he is only having 1 year left on his deal. They'll trade for him, then sign him to a long-term extension with their team, which can make sense. But ultimately, the Suns could also secure an extension long-term with KD if they can prove to him and Devin Booker that they're going to put the right pieces around them to compete and push for a championship. And that's what I think they should do. Ultimately, do I think that's going to happen? I don't necessarily know. I think they'll try to do that, but if all else fails, they'll have to move Durant in the summer. But let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section, how you guys ultimately feel about this Phoenix Suns team. Like I said, it's been absolutely fantastic covering this team over the last year and a half, and you guys have been fantastic in showing your support, so I want to give you guys all your props. Don't forget, we'll be live tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Phoenix time, 3 p.m. Pacific, to go over everything Phoenix Suns, to break down any questions you have about the team as well. So if you want to make sure you join that, make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.